Hi there, and welcome to 10 Hot Tips to Create Websites That Convert Masterclass. This masterclass is going to give you some really awesome insight into the 10 things that you can do for your website to make it really easy to convert clicks into clients. For those of you who are new here and haven't met me before, my name is Sharon Joy, and I'm a business, life coach, and also a website designer. I'm the founder of Studio of Soul, which is a boutique web design agency for femme coaches and femme brands. But primarily, I am a business coach, and I coach coaches, consultants, healers, circle facilitators, and spiritual women in getting their business up and running from the start. So I'm excited to have you here, and I hope you get some value from this masterclass. So diving right in, the first thing that I want to teach you today is about global navigation. Now, global navigation essentially reduces the number of clicks required to allow the people viewing our website to find what they're looking for. Okay, so it's really important that when somebody lands on our website, especially our ideal client, that they're not looking around and getting lost and not sure where we want them to go. So when we put our global navigation, so it's a way that's really easy to recognize because it's global, it means that people won't be scratching around looking for things that they can't find, or worse still, they get there and in those first 3 seconds where we've got that opportunity to make that impact, that they just say, this is too hard, and hit the back button and go back to their Google search. So some of the things we can do to enhance global navigation is these things here. So you can see I've got the menu circled and I've also got the logo circled here. So generally you would place your logo in the top left-hand corner, or that would be the name of your business in the top left-hand corner. That's where people would expect to find it. Your navigation pane would be on the right or at the center. Sometimes people place it in the center of their website. Either is fine, still both acceptable. And your menu order would be from left to right. So the one on the inside, the closest to the center of your website or the left of wherever the menu is usually going to be home or about. Depending on whether you want a home button there. I recommend it because otherwise often people don't know that the icon is hyperlinked to go back to the home page. So just add it there, take the guesswork out of it. So as you can see, I'm putting them in left to right, almost in order of importance, so that on the far right-hand side, you'll notice that there's a contact button, or in some cases, people might have a book now button, and that will always be on the far right-hand side. So keep the far right-hand side for the actionable on your website, your call to action, whether you want them to contact or book now or whatever it may be. Now, what I do recommend is that you put your social media links in the footer. Okay, some people can put them in the header. I have seen them in the header, and that's why on this slide you'll see I've written either in the header or the footer, but they are much better in the footer these days. We don't want our ideal client going away from our website to look at us on social media where it's full of distraction. We want them to stay on our website. And if they come to our website and scroll right to the bottom of the homepage and they're still not quite ready to buy from us, but they're liking what we're putting up, then there's a really good chance that they will go and follow us on socials, and there's a place where we can keep nurturing them. But when we have them on our website in those first few seconds, we really don't want to be sending them away from our website. We want them to keep scrolling through our website to learn more about what we're doing. Okay, the second thing is your copy. So your copy is the words that you would put on your website. So thinking about your copy, here's some important tips for you. First, you want to write in your own authentic voice. So make sure that it sounds like you, okay? it doesn't sound like you in a conversational way, then people are going to feel that something's a little bit off. In speaking conversationally, you really want the audience to feel you. You want them to make a connection with you. So when we keep it conversational, when we keep it authentic, that's more likely going to happen. You want to get to the point in as fewer words as possible. So try not to have really, really long sentences. Try not to, have lots of fluff. Definitely inspire people and get to the point, because people don't have time for that these days. It's as simple as that. In your first 100 words, particularly on your homepage, you want to make them super, super impactful. So you want to also make sure that you're including your keywords. You're identifying who you're for, what it is that you do, and using those ideal clients as your focus all the time. So keep that really, really impactful. Keep the keywords there in those first 100 words, but be very, very concise. Use language that the people you serve are going to understand and would use themselves. And that includes before their journey with you. So if you are taking people on a journey, for example, my ideal client is someone who's starting out as a new coach or consultant, and they're starting up that business, or maybe a new person with spiritual offerings. Then if they're fairly new in their business, what the mistake that they could make is use technical language, or I could use technical language that they won't yet understand, because maybe they're still fairly new in business and they're still learning. So if I start to boggle them with marketing terms and things that they don't understand, then they're likely going to go, this is too high touch, too much, I'm out of here. So make sure that it's at a level that they can understand at their part of the journey when they arrive in your world. Okay, of course, when they've been there and they've worked with you, they're going to have a different vocabulary that they can engage with you with. But on your website is not the place for it. Keep it simple so your ideal clients can understand what you're trying to say before you've given them the transformation. Be explicit about the transformation that you're providing in your work. So make sure that your transformational promise, or what it is that you do or who you help, is very, very clear. So mine is, I help coaches strategize and alchemize to elevate the business they know they were called here to create. So looking for the transformational promise that you deliver and having that on your website. And that is something that will change. So that's mine right now, but it changes regularly. I'm always tweaking it to really capture the language and the inspiration and the attention of my ideal client. And as I continue to work, my ideal client shifts and tweaks over time, as yours will too. Quite likely, if you're new in business. Okay, so next we have write in short sentences and break up the copy using paragraphs and subheadings. What you don't want to have is big blocks of texts that's just going to have people's eyes rolling back into their head. We want them to look at it, almost be able to read it without reading it. So if it's spread out really well, then they will be able to pick up words and phrases off the page, and without actually reading it word for word, they will get the gist of what it's about. That's really important. Keep paragraphs to about 3 to 4 lines per section. And as I say, keep those sentences short. As an ex-teacher, I am guilty of writing sentences that are just too long or using technical language and things like that. It's always something I'm reminding myself to stop doing. And you want to aim for around 300 to 400 words per page on your site. All right, rolling into number 3 now, calls to action. So a call to action is basically guiding your audience to what you want them to do next. And I want you to think of yourself as a little bit of a tour guide on your website. So a tour guide wouldn't just let people get to the end of something or hop off the bus and then not tell them what to do or where to go next. They would say, over here, you can get this here, or over there, there's the toilets, and over there, you can get yourself a drink of water. They would guide people to where they want to go. But the key here, again, is just giving simple, clear directions, not giving them lots of options, just giving simple, clear directions. So if there are options, so for example, maybe you're selling a program and you have a payment plan and you have a pay in full option, and maybe there's one other option, okay, a delayed payment plan or something like that. 3 is about the maximum number of options that you would want to provide. When you're providing more than 3, it can become very confusing. So just be aware of that. So on your homepage and throughout your website, you want to make sure that you are including a call to action at different sections at the bottom of each section on your website. And the great thing about a website is I call it a receiving portal. It's the place where we receive new clients and new contacts. And the way that we do that is through calls to action, because if we don't have those calls to action, people won't enter the portal. So we need to say, would you like this free thing? Click here to receive it. Would you like to buy this thing? Click here to buy. Would you like to book a discovery call? Click here to book. So, if we don't put those things there, then we're not going to actually convert those people from being viewers of our website to actually being either new clients or new contacts. Number 4, adding a high value opt-in, which is sometimes often called a lead magnet. So these are high value free pieces of content that you're going to give away in exchange for the names and emails of potential clients. And it's a great way to make that exchange very even. And it's almost, when somebody opts in, as I'm sure everybody has, at some stage, it's a way that person is saying, yes, I like what you've got and I want to learn more about what you've got. So it's an opportunity where once you have made that exchange, then you can continue to email market and send information to that person and nurture that relationship with that person, in the hope that they may become a client if they're the right person, right? Because that's what this is about. We don't want the wrong clients. We want more of the right clients. So the high value opt-in provides the what in a digestible, easy way. It should take no more than about an hour to consume, but a high value opt-in is the what. It doesn't usually show the how, okay? The how is what they get when they work with you, either through a program or through a call or a session or whatever it may be that you have to offer. So having those high value opt-ins is going to help you to grow your email list. And remember, email lists are one of the most valuable things that we have in our business. We know that there's been times social media goes down, people's accounts get lost. If we're only nurturing people on our Instagram and our Facebook, then what can happen is if we lose those channels for any reason, we don't have a way of communicating directly with our ideal client. We have to start from scratch. So always be seeking to build that relationship through growing your email list with your ideal client. And then, of course, follow up with great value, okay? Not only just your high value opt-in, the thing, the tool, the what piece that you're going to give them, but also continue to nurture that relationship via emails. Social proof. There is really something to be said for social proof. Having the names of people and the testimonies from your current clients and past clients about what it's like to work with you is pure gold. You want to make sure that you've got a nice balance of having social proof smattered throughout your website so that people can see what it's like to work with you. That is so important in just giving people that knowledge and having that through other people's voices and in their words, because a potential client will really hear that in a way that is different to the way that they would hear it said if it came from you. So definitely include social proof, testimonials on your website. Number 6, photography. This is a big one. One of the biggest misconceptions that I find people make when it comes to wanting to create a website is that they think they have to go and have a really elaborate branding session where they need, a 4-hour package or whatever, 10 different outfits, lots of different shoots. It's actually a myth. And in fact, the websites that I've found the hardest to create and put together are ones where there are so many images that it's just too hard to choose. What I recommend is less is more. Get a small handful of really good high quality images. I would say 12 is plenty. You can get started with a whole website with just a dozen photos. The key here is having a mix of landscape and portrait images. And that's another area where I find people get it wrong. They end up with a lot of portrait images. If you're working with a photographer, make sure that you request landscape images. They are really important. This image that I've got here, this landscape image of me sitting in the egg chair, is a really great example of the style of photo that can work nicely on what I call a hero banner. And a hero banner is it's the image that we see above the fold. And above the fold is the thing that you see when you land on a website, okay? It's that first initial bang hero banner. So if I was to use this as a hero banner, it would work really nicely because I've got this space next to me that's kind of bland that I could layer it with text, or I could put some sort of a box there and then layer text over the top. So when you're getting some photos done, or if you're updating your website, go for an image that looks like this and then layer text over the top. Really, really hot tip. I want you to remove any mindset blocks you have around being seen. So if you are just using a ton of stock images, please, 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 please replace those with images of yourself doing what it is that you do. People want to buy from people, okay? They don't want to buy from a website that they can tell that it's stock imagery. So make sure that you have images of you. Get out of your own way with that one and just feel really good about it. If you get your photos done, so some of these photos, I had my hair and my makeup done for my photo shoot. I didn't get very many photos, but it just made me feel really good. So treat yourself. Get yourself a 1 or a 2 hour shoot. You can get heaps of photos in that time and pay the extra money on getting your hair and your makeup done so you look amazing. Number 7 is colors, fonts, and feels. The consistency is key here. Making sure that your brand values are reflected right across your website and that there's consistency in the feel, the tone, just the whole brand of your website from start to finish. Aim for that consistency. Also, this stretches well beyond our website. It really should stretch into the other things that we do, such as, when we're, posting on social media, if we're making handbooks or work booklets, if we've got other products that we're selling, digital products and things, brand them with the same standards of colors, fonts, and feels in the same tone as your website. It's going to just allow your audience to just really feel you and also recognize your stuff when they come across it, even subconsciously. They won't be realizing that they are. It just happens. Number 8 is SEO. otherwise known as getting found online, or more specifically, getting found on Google. So things like making sure that you know your keywords, you making sure that you adding your keywords to your website. You don't need, gone are the days where you need to repeat those keywords over and over. Google now understands synonyms, and it also understands that we can phrase long tail keywords, which is sort of like phrases, in different ways, and it can still mean the same thing. So make sure you know what those are and use them in your copy. Also the title tags, the meta descriptions, and the H1 titles, or H2, H3, all the way down to H6, and then your paragraphs, ordering those appropriately. Make sure your website is Google listed. This is so important and one that gets missed. And lastly, make sure you're listed on Google My Business so that people can find you. Google will like you more if you are listed on Google My Business, and it'll like you even more if you update that regularly and sometimes post on it and seek out actively with your clients Google reviews. Definitely the more Google reviews you can get, then when someone is looking for what you do in your area, you're more likely to gain traction from Google and be shown on the front page that way. Number 9 is mobile responsive. So these days, 70 to 80% of website hits will be from a mobile device. That's just a fact. So you really want to make sure that your website is well optimized to be viewed on a mobile phone, and not just viewed, but make sure the buttons work. Make sure people can read the buttons on a mobile. Make sure that they can buy from you on a mobile. So often, just the other day, I was trying to book a hotel and I clicked on their booking link and it wouldn't work on a mobile. Okay, it's just not sufficient. Make sure that your website is fully functional on a mobile phone and also looks impressive, because that's where a lot of people are going to be viewing it. And lastly is your homepage layout and internal links. So why this is so important, I guess I liken it to starting a new relationship or dating, if you like. So if we meet somebody straight away, you're not likely to all of a sudden, hit them up and say, well, you want to do this thing? That's probably going to be a little bit of a turn off. You're going to have to nurture that relationship to a point before you ask for more than that. And having a homepage layout in a certain order, and this isn't a strict order, there's other ways that you can arrange it, and you'll probably rearrange it and rearrange it again depending on what it is that you're selling at the time. But actually having an intentional way that you are introducing yourself to the people who land on your website is going to authentically nurture that relationship and hopefully lead to more. So, things like having a header that applies the global navigation, having the hero banner. I love a good headshot. Okay. If your hero banner is further away and looking in another direction, then I really recommend a close-up headshot fairly high on the homepage if you're a personal brand, with your eyes looking straight down the barrel. It just gains trust. It just looks open-faced, and people really like that. I think it's important to people. Make sure you have your unique selling proposition, okay? Who you're for and what you do, okay? Who you help and what you help them with there prominently so they can see it. And of course, a call to action button on the hero banner. So straight away, you're telling them where to go and what to do. Have the high value, irresistible opt-in, a brief introduction to who you are, including a summary of your credentials, services section summarizing your services, and calls to action that actually take them to each of those pages. Testimonials, again, I think 3 is a great number on a homepage. It just gives people some sort of an overview and choose 3 very different ones, maybe for different reasons. Maybe one might comment on what it's like to work with you. One might comment on the quality of your programs, and then one on something else. Link to articles or features that you've written or been included in. Have a strong final call to action. You could also have a gallery of your Instagram or preferred social media channel. Again, this is one of those things where you don't want to be guiding people away from your website. You want them to take action on your website first. And then your footer, which includes your contact details, privacy policy, terms of use, and your subscribe form. And like I said before, your social media links as well. If you're interested in adding Wix to the mix and you're a virtual assistant, you want to learn more about building websites, then this is an opportunity for you. Of course, if you are a coach or consultant, or you'd like to be, you're a circle facilitator, a women's worker, a spiritual healer, then I'd love to talk to you about my offers around business coaching. Please do reach out. There you can get a hold of me at sharonjoycoaching.com. And if you've got any questions, you can simply email me at hello@sharonjoycoaching.com, and I'd be only too happy to help you. Thank you for watching. I do hope that you found that helpful. And of course, don't forget, if you'd like to book a free 30-minute discovery call, you can do that via the link on my website. I hope to meet you soon. Bye for now.